What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. All right, so this is very interesting. Jesse Michels just tweeted out that he would give Sean Kirkpatrick $100,000 for an interview. I'm not joking. The former head of AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the Pentagon's Office to Study UFOs, Jesse Michels from American Alchemy just said he would give him, again, $100,000 for an interview. Guess what? I just legally changed my name to Sean Kirkpatrick. Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week about the UFO phenomena. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'm almost there, y'all. All right, let's jump into this story. All right, so it starts with this tweet right here from Joel Schechtman, who is the author of the Wall Street Journal articles that have been coming out. There was a part 1, and they just released part 2. And here's the tweet. It says, how a band of alien believers turned the myth of reverse engineering UFOs at Lockheed into something like reality. And then he puts a link to it. And then Jesse Michels retweets that. And he says, I would pay Sean Kirkpatrick $50K on top of travel and accommodations to come on my show and discuss these Wall Street Journal articles. Surely if he's correct and not cynical about his positions, basic incentives would apply. My only condition is that we don't edit any of it. Then, on top of that, he retweets his own tweet and puts, my buddy Kyle offered to double this. So we are now at $100K payment for a simple, unedited podcast appearance from Sean Kirkpatrick. And again, Sean Kirkpatrick, former head of AARO, right, being offered $100K to go on Jesse Michels' show for an unedited podcast in response to these Wall Street Journal articles. Why is Jesse Michels calling out Sean Kirkpatrick? Because Sean Kirkpatrick is mentioned heavily in these articles, and a lot of the research that Sean Kirkpatrick and the team at AARO did while he was still in office, right, are being used. A lot of that information is being used in these articles, allegedly, right, because the Wall Street Journal articles provide zero sources, right? We ask for sources and evidence of UFO stories. Well, the same should be required of UFO debunking stories. Where's the evidence that this is happening, right? They're basically just saying it's all BS, right? So this is interesting. I think the first response, let's be real, if you see this and you read it and you've been on Jesse Michels' show, you're thinking, damn, I should have held out. I could have got $100K to come on the show, right? There's all those people thinking, damn, I did that show for free, right? This is so interesting. A lot of people are divided over this, and not really happy that people are offering $100K, right, to Sean Kirkpatrick to do this. They feel like they're kind of putting him in a rock and a hard spot, right? If he declines, then he's too scared, right? If he accepts, they're going to try to take advantage of him in some way. I mean, that's all subjective, right? That's all subjective. $100K is a lot of money. I mean, Sean Kirkpatrick could just give it to charity, right? And maybe could it be a gotcha sort of thing? No, I think they just want to go over this stuff and like, where is the evidence of that? Why is that so hard? All right, why is that so difficult? I think it would be a great opportunity. I mean, Jesse Michels is perfect for this because he has always been so respectful of people doing interviews. Why wouldn't he be respectful of Sean Kirkpatrick? I mean, he had Mick West on and there was no issues. I mean, I've had Mick West on my show here. I don't really care. I'll talk to anybody. So I see no issue with it. I mean, Sean Kirkpatrick should do it for free. He'll do interviews with Stephen Greenstreet, but not with Jesse Michels. Again, just give the $100K to charity, right? Or pocket it, whatever. But this is interesting. But again, the response is completely divided online about this. People think it's just a setup. But I, for one, I say go for it. What's the worst that could happen? Right? You give $100K to charity. Again, it'll be unedited. So even if you're disagreeing with the questions or you think they're kind of trying to manipulate you in some way, you can say that in the interview. They'll have to keep it. Right? So, do it on neutral ground. There should be a way to make this happen. And I think we do need more explanation about these Wall Street Journal articles, if they are to be believed. If it's just supposed to go in one ear, not the other, then okay. But if you want really people to believe it, you're going to have to provide some evidence that these things happen. I'm not saying they did it. I'm just saying, where is the evidence? And to then base that, well, that's why the whole UFO phenomena exists. Again, I've made a video about the Wall Street Journal article, not the second part that came out, which not too many people are happy about, to be honest with you. They should have just done it as one part. I don't really see splitting it up why they did that, but regardless. And just to give you an idea of how many people are against the Wall Street Journal articles, here's a clip of James Fox responding to the first part that came out and what he thinks about their motivations.
That is part of the PSYOP. This article is exactly that. It's complete and utter hogwash. And I say this not just because, I believe the David Grushes and the Lou Elizondos that have testified to a bipartisan group of lawmakers that the phenomenon is not just that the phenomenon is real, but that we have definitive proof in the form of spacecraft, of crashed spaceships, and as they refer to biologics. I believe what I know to be true because I've gone around the world investigating the phenomenon, investigating landing cases, crash cases in Brazil. I've been to China, Russia, Australia, South America, Africa. The phenomenon is definitely real. They know it. They can't explain it. And quite honestly, they're in a corner right now. And this has got Sean Kirkpatrick's fingerprints all over it, as far as I'm concerned.
So what do you mean by that? For our audience that's uninitiated into Sean Kirkpatrick, maybe you can explain a little bit about his history. He's featured prominently in the piece. Maybe you can just set the stage there for that.
Sure. So Sean Kirkpatrick ran AARO, which was the UAP task force, for a couple of years. He was working closely with Senator Gillibrand and I believe Rounds and Schumer. But he was, and I know this, because I was working with firsthand witnesses that had already gone to AARO and testified in a skiff and given street addresses and names and locations of where this stuff is. And none of those detailed reports, classified detailed reports, wound up being even part of the presentation that he ultimately gave. I mean, it was Sean Kirkpatrick, bless his heart, I'm sure that he had the DOD pretty much telling him how to do everything. His hands were tied, I'm guessing, but he just, it was a complete and utter waste of time. I think the new guy, John Klasklowski, who's running AARO now, I think he's going to be a lot more transparent. Although he did tell me in a skiff a couple of months ago, I started saying, obviously you guys are going to come to the conclusion after a careful review of the data, especially the classified data, that we're dealing with some of this stuff as a non-human intelligence. And he looked at me, he didn't say no. He just goes, James, I can't part my hair without the DOD's approval. And you can quote me on that. Basically what he was saying is, Congress has put me in charge of this organization to get to the bottom of it. But unfortunately, no matter what I uncover, with the clearances I have, I'm not able to share that with the general public, or perhaps not even Congress, without the approval of the DOD.
One of the things that the legacy media is so good at doing is lying by omission. And I think this Wall Street Journal piece, to me, is the perfect example of that. Here, they go through and in detail try to paint all of these big UFO cases as just disinformation campaigns by the Pentagon. But they don't make any mention. I mean, there's plenty of cases, the cases you covered in Brazil, for crying out loud, in your documentary, or, hundreds of other cases where we have whistleblower testimonies, and they omitted all of that to paint a narrative in their article that it's all one big psyop.
Oh, for me, I take it personally sometimes because I know these individuals quite well. People like Robert Salas, the launch control officer, Minuteman missiles, height of the Cold War. These guys are so elite and so trained. I mean, my gosh, they got the finger on the nuclear weapons. For these guys to come forward, it's not exactly a career-enhancing move, and give testimony about what they experienced and what happened at their bases. I mean, think about these guys. These guys are responsible for pushing the launch control officers for a nuclear war. It's like, if that's not a credible report, I don't know what is. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, the phenomenon we feature, thanks to Robert Hastings, countless incidences where these objects are interfering with our nukes. I mean, they're shutting them off in most cases, flying over these installations, shutting them off, and then whizzing off with impunity.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should Jesse Michels offer $100K to Sean Kirkpatrick, and should Sean Kirkpatrick do the interview? Right? Let me know. We'll see you on the next one, Vetters. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.